After almost 6 days boondocking in the desert, I am really looking forward to full hookups. So we're heading towards civilization. So beautiful out here. I think we all need a good car wash. In my case, I could really use a nice long shower. Here's the only place I found in the whole Phoenix metropolitan area that had vacancy and would take someone under 60. It is called Destiny RV Resort, located in the Phoenix suburb of Goodyear. And this is going to be home for the next few days. Yeah, my picnic table is right next to the neighbor's sewer. Oh joy. I'm riding in my RV, wherever I want to be, 'cause I'm free in my RV. Yeah. It appears I damaged this jack. Well, I love boondocking, but there's something to be said for full hookups as well. For sure. Took a long shower, feel human again. And now we're gonna have some lunch and oh, they have a heated pool, so maybe later on I will. It's almost warm today here in Arizona. It's probably, let me see, the car says 66. We're going to a brewery. The brewery, by the way, is really close in this shopping center. It's called the Saddle Mountain Brewing Company. Yep, looks legit. That's where they make the beer, apparently. Let's go into the restaurant. Yeah, let's go inside. I am really hungry. Nice IPA here at the very well appointed bar. And this looks good. Well, yeah, I just had some pork verde something. It was very spicy. But yeah, huge truck here blocking my. That's a pretty good. We might make this a regular occurrence on our evenings here in this area. Backing my RV condo here, it's not necessarily pool weather, but I'm in the mood. Well, here goes nothing. I've got the pool all to myself. With good reason, it's in the 60s, but the water is supposed to be, it's kind of cold. Well, I'll be the first to admit it is a little bit cold, but you know, it's a pool in January in the desert. Actually, I'm getting used to it. Well, they told me I shouldn't go into the pool after eating anyways, so. So yeah, we're having a pool with the saguaro cactus. Only one though. I forgot to mention that there is a spa as well. It's very warm actually. Too warm perhaps. Maybe tomorrow. Interesting. A lot of semi-permanent residents here. Semi-permanent and permanent. Well, hello everybody. Good morning from, I don't know exactly what this town is called. It's on the west, about half an hour to the west of Phoenix. And we're gonna take care of some errands today. Most importantly, mail some CDs. Oh, and Walmart. They did a fairly decent job cleaning Mini Teeny at the truck stop. Not as good as Randall, though. And at some point I have to figure out how to fix my stabilizer jack. I have no idea where I broke it, but I have a good feeling that it was coming out of the RTR yesterday. Alright, let's do it. United States Post Office. I decided to enter the Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport to get a lay of the land, like a practice run, if you will, since tomorrow I am coming back to pick Ely up. As you know, airports can be confusing, and they all are a little different. Anyways, yes, she is flying in from Miami, and we're gonna spend the next couple of weeks together. I'm gonna continue towards the college town of Tempe, just east of Phoenix. Hayden Butte is unmistakable, and I'm going to climb it. Bear with me, finding my way around here, and more importantly, where to park. There's Hayden Butte to the right.
Use the middle lane to turn right onto West Rio Salado Parkway.
Estoy en Rio Salado Parkway ya, no más.
Do you all fight with your GPS too, or am I the only one who does that? In Spanish. Maybe I should seek help. Anyways, here I am, downtown.
Well, this is obviously not open, but anyways, this is where I am. Parked.
It certainly looks like at some point it was a very nice restaurant. And a historic building too. They've got all these scooters here. One of these days I'm gonna be scooting around in one of those. They are everywhere. Loco Especiales, that place looks nice. Maybe I'll be back later. And here's their light rail system. And the giant chair.
You know how to do it, right?
It is a pretty lively downtown. Lots of shops and bars and restaurants. I stopped at the local patron here for a quick lunch and a beer. Yeah, they give you free chips and salsa. And the tacos? They are amazing.
Well, that was a really good taco and a decent IPA, but I got the talkative drunk guy next to me, so, and I wasn't in the ducking mood, so maybe we'll go up the mountain now. It's not a mountain, it's a butte.
Before scaling the butte, let's check out Tempe Beach Park here, right on the bank of the Salt River, which in this area is a reservoir called Tempe Town Lake, the Salt River being dry most of the time. Yes, dry. Don't be fooled by the city landscaping. We are still in the desert. Actually, I read most of the water in Tempe Town Lake actually comes from the Colorado River via the Central Arizona Project, which is basically an aqueduct, which diverts water from the Colorado to places that don't have water.
It almost has like a European feel to it, kind of. This part of Tempe here. Oh, and more scooters laying around. I'm gonna attempt being the key word, to go all the way to the top of the butte.
There's the old Hayden flour mill. Here's some information about the trail, although it doesn't say how long it is. I mean, we'll be going from elevation 1180 to elevation 1405, so that's something.
I'll be the first to admit it. It is starting to get a bit rough, a bit strenuous going up this hill, but it's very steep, that's the thing.
Yep, getting better all the time.
There's still more. There's still a little bit more. This is what the trail looks like, close to the top. This volcanic rock, I guess.
There's Southwest landing with this view of Camelback Mountain.
I guess you're not allowed to go all the way to the summit. Oh well, no trespassing. Back down we go. Well, let me tell you, this was really an awesome climb. It's strenuous, but it's not very long, so it's very doable.
Yeah, it's not the smoothest terrain up here. Before coming here last year, I would have never imagined the Phoenix area being so beautiful. I've always wanted to take a shot like this one, with the long lens of a plane landing on the runway. So bear with me if this seems a little long, perhaps. I just love having that long zoom in one camera and one lens. Gives me so much flexibility. Oh look, the big A.
It's always easier on the way down, right? Perhaps I shouldn't have had that taco. Beautiful views. I conquered the butte. Well, originally I wanted to climb Camelback Mountain in nearby Scottsdale, but that would have been too hardcore. I mean, this was enough to get the blood flowing and even break a bit of a sweat here in Tempe.
While we're here, let's swing by Scottsdale. Here we are, Old Town Scottsdale, which is basically a shopping district with a bunch of bars and restaurants, museums, art galleries, and gentrification. This here is the Scottsdale waterfront. I was around here last year, and it is for the most part an upscale mall, also with more restaurants and bars, and you get the point. Here's a more residential area as we approach Camelback Mountain. Definitely an affluent neighborhood. I think it is around this area that a lot of people begin the hike up to Camelback Mountain, which is very popular and supposedly pretty strenuous. So, one of these days I'll do it, but not today. Let's just go as high up the mountain as we can with the truck. Breathtaking views. And, by the way, this was totally serendipitous. I had no idea this neighborhood was here. And back on ground level we are, and it is getting late, so back to Destiny RV Resort we go. Rest we must. And I'm starting to sound like Yoda.
It's another desert sunset.
In order to get a decent view of the sunset colors, I have to climb on the roof of Mini Teeny, but hey, it is not a bad view. Oh, check it out.
Oh, there it is. We have a software update.
What could possibly go wrong? These modern cars, I tell ya.
Well, good morning from the Destiny RV Resort. It is Friday. Well, going towards the airport. For some reason, the flight is early. It's arriving like 15 minutes early, so hopefully I'm not late.
She is almost here. Will I be able to make it on time? Well, she's flying American, so that could very likely be her. There, it says en route, but my FlightAware app says it landed already. Anyways, I arrived almost in the nick of time, and of course, I am at the wrong side of the terminal. This is north, and she is on the south side. Luckily, it is not too far. There she is. What the heck is that? An airplane missing its wings. Interesting. Let's see it again, up close. We decide to take a cruise down Roosevelt Street, also called Roosevelt Row, and this is where the first Friday Arts Market happens, coincidentally enough, on the first Friday of the month. And it is a pretty large carnival with lots of art and live music, food trucks. Very cool. If you recall, last year I was here for that event. If you don't, I'll put a link to that video. Next, every time I pass it on I-10, I've been curious about this silver dome structure that looks like it could have been an observatory in the past, or a giant R2-D2, I don't know. It turns out it is La Iglesia Luz del Mundo, or the Light of the World Church. I've heard rumors that the place has been under construction for a very long time. It does look like it could have housed a telescope in the past. Well, yesterday I liked Tempe so much that I decided to come back with Ili and have some tacos and then continue. But I neglected to shoot any video. I figure you already saw all that yesterday. Today we have somewhat nicer weather. It is also earlier, so I'm gonna go back to Camelback Mountain to share some of the highlights of my previous day with her. Now we are continuing east to one of my favorite places that I visited when I was here last year, Apache Junction and the ever-present Superstition Mountain. I'm going to do my live stream from there. It is Friday after all. Here to the right is the Lost Dutchman Museum and the Elvis Presley Chapel. And here's Goldfield, an old west town recreation, roughly in the same spot where the Goldfield mine used to be. Here we are once again at the Goldfield Ghost Town. And I'm about to do a live video very soon. That's the train that goes around the town. And here we have the town itself. We're going to the saloon. Well, we are back in Goldfield once again. And there's Superstition Mountain. The last time I came, they didn't have live music on the street. Here we are at the saloon, which gets pretty lively earlier in the day. For the live stream, I think it is going to be better if we sit outside. We're gonna have a great view of the mountain. Well, hello Pelican Heads and greetings from the Gold Town, the Goldfield. From the Goldfield Ghost Town here in Arizona. Actually, I did a live video from this very spot, close to this very spot, about a year ago. By the way, that was a great broadcast, and even Ili made a cameo appearance. And this is the Mammoth Saloon here in the Goldfields ghost town, which is kind of a fake ghost town, but it's beautifully fake, if you will. Such a perfect setting for the live stream, isn't it? Even if my cell phone camera didn't really do justice to the beautiful scenery at the time. And when they say they close at 5, they mean it. Everything is quickly dying down.
That's great. I'm kind of next.
Right. Very cool bar, by the way. There's the touristy train that goes around the town ever so slowly, but it is a nice tour. I enjoyed it last year. Well, yeah, one more time we visited the Goldfield ghost town. I did a live video from the saloon, and now we're gonna go somewhere else. Actually, I kind of like it. Actually, we're going to continue east here on Arizona 88, better known as the Apache Trail, all the way to Tortilla Flat. I've heard the scenery is supposed to be magnificent. This here to the right is Lost Dutchman State Park, usually fully booked for the winter, but let me tell you, it would be really nice to be able to stay here for a couple of nights.
saguaro cacti everywhere. It is a beautiful drive, although as you can see we are running out of light real quick here. Remember, it is still mid-January and the days are short. Too short. Alright, let's get off the road, take a break. Yeah, in my opinion, there's nothing like the West when it comes to natural beauty. And it gets better. Perhaps not the best view of Canyon Lake from here, but we'll get closer soon enough. Still mesmerizing, especially at this time of the day. I really had no idea this was here, or that it was so, I'm gonna say it, picturesque. I mean, I had heard of the Apache Trail, but it definitely exceeded my expectations. Ooh, one-lane bridge. By the way, these two bridges we've crossed, they date from the 1920s and 30s and are considered historic. Here's Tortilla Flat. Not a whole lot going on at this time of the day, so we're just gonna turn around.
So this is the famous Tortilla Flats. Alright, let's go back to the campground.
We're gonna end our 2 days of Arizona fun at the same place where we started, the brewery. You know, Ili hadn't been here yet, and it turns out they have great pizza.
Digging.
On the next one, we return, briefly, to the RTR to participate in the Burning Van ceremony. Also, the Blue Water Casino in Parker, the Nelly E Saloon, also known as the Desert Bar. Then Lake Havasu City and its famous London Bridge, as we continue our adventures in the West.